Hello, one and all, and welcome back to another week of Outside the Ropes. I'm your host of Outside the Ropes, as always, Matthew Moore. Hope everybody out there is doing really well, and thank you once again for hitting the download button or listening to us on our social media feeds for another week of Outside the Ropes. Now, before we get into tonight's episode, which we're going to bring you some latest news and scoops in the world of professional wrestling, I just want to give a shout out to our friends and partners of this podcast. If you're a historian of professional wrestling, just like myself and most people who listen to this podcast, Wrestling's Past is your location. Don't forget to check out their website, which is wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and on Twitter at Wrestling's Past for their daily tweets in the world and the history, of professional wrestling. So that's wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and on Twitter at Wrestling's Past. Guys, I hope you're all doing really well out there. I'm doing well myself. It's been a funny old week, hasn't it? There's a lot of big news and stories going on in the last sort of 72 hours in the world of professional wrestling, which we're going to talk about now, and we're going to bring you more scoops as well. Let's get straight into it. The big news coming out of WWE since the last lot of days regarding the Royal Rumble coming up in about nearly 3 weeks' time. The WWE title being involved in the Royal Rumble match. Also, big return on Raw this week. Also, big news coming out. Is WWE trying to sort of raid New Japan Pro Wrestling? Is there going to be a story that New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE is going to be together, or what's going to happen regarding talent on their roster? Let's get straight into it, and let's bring all the latest news that we know here on Outside the Ropes. Okay, guys, last Monday Night Raw, what a great show we had from San Antonio, Texas. We had the return of Chris Jericho, which was great to see. We tweeted out to you guys on Monday afternoon that Jericho was reportedly backstage, which he appeared, and said that he will be in the Royal Rumble this year. But the main story coming out of Raw this past Monday night was the WWE World Heavyweight title match between Roman Reigns and Sheamus, with Vince McMahon as the special guest referee. We all knew that Roman Reigns was going to retain the title, which he did do, but the twist in the story has dramatically changed, where I actually thought Triple H would have appeared in Raw, but he didn't. But it's been, what a way to change the story and give us a good twist to the story, that this year's Royal Rumble match, you may as well say, will be for the WWE World Heavyweight title, where Roman Reigns will defend his title in the Royal Rumble match against 29 other superstars. Now, the last time the WWE title was on the line in the Royal Rumble match was the year that Ric Flair won the title back in 1992, which was all those years ago. I remember watching it like it was yesterday. Not giving away my age, of course. But yeah, the title will be on the line in the Royal Rumble match this year. So if Roman Reigns loses, basically he's going to lose the WWE World Heavyweight title to whoever wins the Royal Rumble. What's that going to mean then for the main event for WrestleMania? Is there going to be like a match set up maybe for the pay-per-view after, where the winner goes on to face the champion? It's going to be interesting. We've had a lot of rumours going around in the last few days. Who's going to be coming back for the Royal Rumble? Old stars may be appearing as well. I also heard a story now, whether this is true or not, they may even extend the Rumble to 40 men. I can't see it happening, to be honest with you. It's just a story that I read the other day, but I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you. But so far, we've got Chris Jericho throwing his name into the hat. We've got all most of the big name superstars in there, but it's going to be a big Royal Rumble this year. On the 24th of January, Sunday night, which I'm looking forward to now, because Roman Reigns is defending the WWE World Heavyweight title inside the Royal Rumble match. What a great way to twist it and keep us interested in the storyline between Roman Reigns and the McMahon family. Obviously, Stephanie got involved in the match as well on Monday night. She's involved in the story. You know, are we going to see the return of Triple H? A lot of people are speculating that Triple H is going to win the Royal Rumble. I think it would be silly if he won the Royal Rumble, but I really don't know what's going to happen. They've announced as well that Brock Lesnar returns to television next week. Is he going to be in the Royal Rumble match as well? I presume that he is going to be in the Rumble match as well. So it's going to be a big, big event coming up in a couple of weeks on the WWE Network. So any more stories, development of that itself, we hear. Any more rumours or stories, you'll get it right here once again on Outside the Ropes. Now, the big story that everybody's talking about is AJ Styles and others on their way to WWE. Twitter, Facebook, websites have been going mental since this Monday night. Our Twitter hasn't stopped going, excuse me, pardon me. I'm losing my voice because I've been talking that much on the telephone today. Trying to find out what's been going on and ringing people and trying to get contacts and stuff like that. I'm actually starting to lose my voice, so I do apologise. But is AJ Styles and others on their way to WWE? WWE have even mentioned it on Twitter. They've put a write-up on their website about this story. There was a storyline involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling in the last few days where AJ Styles was kicked out of the Bullet Club. Is AJ finally on his way to WWE? The answer to that question at the moment is, for what we know, is we don't know. We know as much as you do. All we know is that he has been speaking to Triple H for a while. Twitter went crazy on Monday because he followed Triple H. You know, people in the internet wrestling community sometimes drive me mad. They even tweet me as well and torture me. But AJ Styles and others, now others being names have been mentioned, but we haven't. But the main one is AJ Styles. Is he on his way to WWE? I would love to see it. I've been wanting to see AJ Styles in WWE for him. He wrestled on WWF television back in the day. I think it was against the Hurricane, I think maybe it was he wrestled. The match is on YouTube, you can have a look for it. But is he on his way? For what I've been told today, he is on his way, but for all I know for definite at the moment is I don't really know why. I know as much as you guys. I would love to see it happen. There was an interesting tweet sent out today from Finn Balor, which we retweeted on Twitter, by the way. You can take a look at it if you haven't had a look at it yet. Standing outside the WWE Performance Center with his Bullet Club, not his Balor Club, his Bullet Club t-shirt on, saying, standing looking at his watch, saying they were supposed to be here an hour ago, or whatever it was the tweet said, waiting for the Bullet Club members to turn up. WWE have mentioned this, I said to you on their website. They've done a thing on Twitter about it as well, saying, is AJ Styles and this guy on their way to WWE? We've retweeted it again if you want to go and read the tweet. I would love to see it happen. We're keeping an extreme eye on this story. Once that news breaks, guys, we will get that story right away out to you on social media and also on our sources that we have. I cannot wait to see AJ Styles, the AJ Styles from today, appear in WWE television. Is he going to be going straight to NXT? Even Sasha Banks put a funny tweet today with a t-shirt saying, what was it, Banks Club? Saying, who wants to join? Finn Balor and others want to join. Is there going to be a Bullet Club reunion? There's other rumours flying around this evening, pardon me, before I went on the air here today, saying that is there going to be a merger, sort of like work being done between the two promotions, between New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE. For all fans of New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE, that would be a great thing. I think it would be a fantastic thing to see the two companies work together, trade talent, etc., especially in NXT. But again, in closing, myself personally, myself and other people here at the show will be keeping an extreme eye on it. Once that news breaks, anything at all, we will bring it to you right away on Edgeloads, because the internet has been going crazy, and I've actually took Twitter off my phone, my iPad, because I'm tired of it beeping every 5 minutes. But there you go. Is he on his way? I hope so. I really do hope so. But again, all we can do really is keep an eye on it for you guys and see what happens. Okay. Now, TNA. We've got some TNA news today. They debuted on Pop TV, which we've been talking about for the last few weeks. And a big thing coming out of that is they had the conclusion to their title tournament. We also had a former WWE star appear. And also, interesting, people have been asking me for weeks, and even our former co-host or pop-in co-host every so often, Tony's been asking me, where the hell has James Storm been since he debuted on NXT TV? Well, the answer to that question is he appeared back in TNA on their debut on Pop TV to make an announcement that Beer Money's getting back together. He turned down WWE for the following reasons. I've been doing some research on this today for the podcast tonight, and for what I've been hearing today is he turned it down for financial reasons. Now, WWE were offering him reportedly a contract under $100,000 a year, but TNA were offering him a contract, a 2-year contract, closer to the more of the $250,000 range. Where the hell is Dixie Carter getting all this money? And also with a profit of merchandise sales as well. So financial reasons was the reason why James Storm turned down WWE. But it's also been reported that Triple H and the ones at NXT have told James Storm that the door shall remain open for him if he does decide to return or even want to come and sign for WWE. They offered him the contract. The contract was on the table, but he refused to sign it. So that's the reason why James Storm You haven't seen James Storm back on WWE. You've seen him on Breaking Ground. If you haven't seen the finale episode of Breaking Ground on the network, if you haven't even watched the program at all, watch it. It's good. It's a good show. You see James Storm sitting in the last episode amongst the NXT stars. But that's the reason why you haven't seen James Storm. Financial reasons why he didn't go back. But anyway, staying on the subject of TNA, they're on their new channel. They had the conclusion to their title tournament where they have a new world champion in EC3, two-time world champion, where he beat Matt Hardy in the finals of the tournament. And we also had former WWE star Maria turn up. Really? Maria? I haven't seen Maria in a ring for a long time, but Maria turned up as well at the show. I haven't saw the show yet. I'm going to watch it tonight. Once I get off the air tonight, I'm going to go home and I'm going to have a look at this TNA show and see what I think, because I've heard good things about it. I hear the crowd wasn't great, but I heard it was a pretty decent show. So I'm going to check it out. Guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, you can go back and check it out wherever any of your on-demand services or anything else around the world. You can check out TNA as they debut on their new network. But all the best to TNA, and I hope it works out for them. And be interesting to see. Interesting news coming out of WWE as well. More injury news. I'm sick of reporting injury news every week, guys, to you. But Connor from the Ascension apparently has a dislocated jaw, and he shall be out of action for the near future. Another injury. They're all falling apart. But we did say last week the Stardust returned to action, so it's normal back in the fold again. What a tweet from the Dudley Boys this week, if you saw it, but they said they're going to do if they ever become tag team champions again. The Dudley Boys have vouched to their fans that if they ever win the tag team titles in WWE again, they're going to bring back the old tag straps. And they tweeted a photograph of themselves with the old tag straps from back in the day. Bring back those belts. I've been wanting those tag team title belts at the moment look ridiculous. They look like something from a Gladiator movie with them stupid. Oh, it looks ridiculous. Them tag team titles make me sick to look at. The classic tag team belts, even the world tag team titles when they were doing the brand split at the time, those belts look better. The SmackDown tag team belts look better, but those current belts are horrible looking. Really, really horrible looking. But I hope the Dudley Boys win the tag team titles back and take it off them. Booty Tootie, whatever you want to call them. Jericho called them New Day. Bring back the old tag straps. Hashtag old tag straps. Return. Indeed. Fantastic. But yeah, keep an eye on it. Other news. Vicky Guerrero. Now, we said in WWE for a while, but a lot of you probably remember her daughter, Shaul Guerrero, who was in NXT for a while under a name. I can't remember her name, which was wrestling now. Don't quote me on that now. But she recently got married this past Sunday to current NXT star Aiden English. And I didn't even know those two were dating. Also, Zack Ryder's dating Emma. Don't know why you know that either. But yeah, they got married this past Sunday. They've been engaged since December 2014. So Vicky Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero's daughter, Shaul Guerrero, is now married. What is with all these weddings at the minute? Everybody seems to be getting married. Eugene's been married. Randy Orton's getting married. They all seem to get married at the minute. But yeah, Eddie Guerrero's daughter got married. God, where's the time gone? I remember watching her back in the old Eddie DVDs when she was a wee tiny girl. Now she's all grown up and married. I'll tell you something, guys, I must be getting old. But yeah, Shaul Guerrero got married this past week, so big congratulations to them anyway. And he better behave himself, or Vicky will be looking for his blood. Another announcement has been made this week regarding NXT. Now, you all know that there's going to be a special. We were talking about doing a special leading into WrestleMania 32, but it's been announced now the next network special will be titled March to WrestleMania 32. It will take place on Saturday, March 12th from the Ricoh Coliseum in Toronto, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. No matches have been announced yet, of course, for it, but it will be live on the WWE Network, so it's going to be they said it's a WWE special. Whether it's NXT or not, I don't. Well, for what I've been told, it could involve both. I did say NXT there, but I think it may be both. I'm not honestly 100% sure, but nothing's been announced just yet. But it's called March to WrestleMania 32. God, March to WrestleMania. Remember back in the day, in the WrestleMania 10? Those were the days, I'll tell you. But yeah, March 12th on the WWE Network from the Ricoh Coliseum in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Keep an eye for that anyway. Guys, we did ask you last week regarding, go back to the Royal Rumble, for your predictions for the Rumble. We didn't manage to put it up on Facebook. We're going to put it up to Facebook tonight once we post this podcast. I've got some emails here that I'm going to read now shortly from you guys that obviously listens to the show. Thank you once again. But want to know who you think's going to win the Royal Rumble this year? What has been your favourite Royal Rumble of all time? Who's been your most favourite Royal Rumble winner? I know who my favourite Royal Rumble winner is, but I want to know who you, the listener, what is your favourite Royal Rumble moment? You can tweet them to us at Outside the Rope. You can comment on Facebook. And also you can email them to us, outsidetheropes@yahoo.com. But I've got some ones here from our fans that we did ask last week. Starting with Stuart. We got Stuart here from, where's he from? Swansea in Wales. Hello there. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for your email. He says his favourite all-time winner of the Royal Rumble has to be The Rock from Royal Rumble 2000 in Madison Square Garden. Okay, I remember that Rumble very well. It was actually a very good Royal Rumble. But he said his favourite Royal Rumble of all time had to be the 1999 Royal Rumble, where McMahon won the Rumble, and the Mick Foley Rock match where they beat the absolute hell out of each other. If you haven't watched that match before, go back in the network and watch it, or go and check out some of the footage, some of the information about the match on our good friends at Wrestling's Past. There you go. But thanks for your email. I do appreciate that, and hope you're doing well out there. Got another one in here from one of our usual listeners, Claire. Claire sent in our email in saying her favourite Royal Rumble moment, why, was Ricardo Rodriguez coming out and competing in that banged up car thing. Okay, that was her favourite Royal Rumble entrance. It's never said here, but she says her best Royal Rumble moment of all time had to be, interesting one actually, Lex Luger and Bret Hart going over the top rope at the same time in the 1994 Royal Rumble. It was a good Rumble back in the day. Ended up being a two WWF at the time title matches at WrestleMania 10 because of the two guys being eliminated at the end. So there you go. It was an interesting one. One in here from Chris wants to know who me says specifically, and my name Matthew. What's your favourite Royal Rumble moment? He says his favourite Royal Rumble moment has to be the 1998 Royal Rumble, but the first time, the big feud in Austin and The Rock on a big major pay-per-view where Austin won the Royal Rumble to go on and win the title at WrestleMania 14. So yeah, there you go. I remember that like it was yesterday too, 1988. Don't even remember. It was, 18 years ago now? Remember it like it was yesterday. Scary times. But yeah, keep them coming in, guys. I've got more emails here. I'm going to hopefully get time here to look through before we get off the air. A lot of them about AJ Styles, but I've already said my piece about AJ Styles. Okay, keep them coming in, guys. Don't forget, later on tonight we're going to post who was your favourite Royal Rumble winner, what was your favourite Royal Rumble of all time, and we'll hopefully get through them next week. But one thing is for sure, I want to announce here today that myself personally, I have been invited to participate, should we say, or be a guest on our good friends at British Wrestling Radio just before the week of the Royal Rumble. Now, I've been talking to Dino and then Nixie, obviously the girl who helps Dino run the show, and they've wonderfully invited me to come on to the show as a guest to talk about professional wrestling, talk about whatever they want to talk about, questions, I'm sure, about the Royal Rumble history and stuff like that, and other subjects, of course. But our good friends at British Wrestling Radio, don't forget to give them a good like on Twitter at BWR Radio. I think they've changed their website to britishwrestlingradio.co.uk. That's their website address now. They're on Facebook as well. They're on our page, British Wrestling Radio. I'll be appearing there shortly before the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, so I'm really looking forward to that there, and I'll do my best to try and represent Ice Dorps the best I can. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for the invite, Dino. I do appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to getting on to your show in the next few weeks. So there you go. Emails. An interesting one in here from a young fan, age 14. David is from, let's have a look, where's he from? He doesn't actually say, it just says David, he's age 14, and he wants to know, do we think that the what do you call them? Lucha Dragons, couldn't even pronounce the name there. I'm looking at the emails right in front of me here on the iPad. Will the Lucha Dragons ever become the tag team champions? And my answer to that, David, is I hope so, because they're over with the young fans. They're like in the same sort of category as the Usos. I would love to see them become the tag team champions. Hopefully someday, because they're really getting over. At the moment, unfortunately, Sin Cara is injured. I think it's a shoulder injury. I think it was where he got injured. Kalisto on his own. My opinion, I think Kalisto, if he's used properly, could be the new Rey Mysterio of WWE. A lot of people have been saying that in recent weeks. But I would like to see them win the tag team belts because they're over with the crowd, especially the young kids in the crowd. Because WWE mostly at the moment is focused on the younger audience. I would like to see them win the tag team belts. Anybody but the New Day. Anybody but the New Day. Seriously. The New Day need to be put through flaming tables by the ugly boys and set on fire and beaten with barbed wire baseball bats. I'm only joking. But I think they will. I think they will become the tag team champion. If they don't, I think it's a silly decision. But they're over with the young, especially the young fans. So, yeah, I would like to see that, David. Thanks very much for your email. Do appreciate that. Guys, once again, don't forget to check out our good friends at Wrestling's Past for all your history of professional wrestling, especially the Royal Rumble. WrestlingPast.blogspot.co.uk. I'm going to hit the road and get out of here. A bit of a short podcast this week, guys, but we're going to be having a little meeting this week here with Outside the Ropes. We've got something in the pipeline planned. I know we've been saying for weeks that we're going to do things differently here, but we've got a few things planned that I came up with an idea to try and attract more of an audience to this show by our fellow friends who do other podcasts and stuff like that. I've pitched an idea to the people who help run this show, and I'm waiting for a decision back this week. It's a good thing. As you know, I love media work. I do this podcast. I work in the world of football, or soccer as you Americans like to call it. I do a TV presenter. So I've put a little idea to our boys here at the show to see what they say regarding doing something special for this show, because we need to do something here, because it's been quite, I'm not saying stale, but it's been sort of on a wee quiet road for the last sort of year or so. We need to sort of change this show a little bit. So interesting. But anyway, I'm going to hit the road, guys, and tonight don't forget to watch NXT. I'm looking forward to watching that, and also I don't think anything else is on tonight, just NXT. But and SmackDown on Thursday as well. So once again, thanks for hitting the download button on iTunes. iTunes downloads last week, as always, through the roof. Can't thank you enough for it. Thanks for listening to us here on Facebook as well, YouTube, and also checking out the link on Speaker and iTunes and wherever else you're listening to us. So there you are. I'm going to head on the road. Don't forget, guys, follow us on our social media feeds, and any more news or breaks regarding the big stories coming to WWE between now and when we come back next week, we will keep you posted right away. Don't forget, Outside the Ropes is your number one source for latest scoops coming out of WWE, especially these big storylines at the moment. So for Matthew, enjoy the rest of your week, guys. And until next Wednesday, same time, same place, right back here on Outside the Ropes. I'm Matthew Murray, your host, and I will see you all next Wednesday.